firefighters calling for livable wages, the push for new union contracts amid a tough budget season.
A community in mourning hundreds of miles away after a deadly bus crash here in Northern Virginia. How neighbors are remembering the Donsiv family.
And it has been another gorgeous day across the DMV. We'll talk about what's in store for tonight, temperature-wise, and what to expect on your Wednesday as well. All coming up in the full forecast.
The people who are at the lower end, their situation is really getting worse.
DC News Now's consumer reporter Haley Milan is stretching your dollar with ways to negotiate your credit card debt down.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
And thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 4. I'm Mark Hall. In the district, DC firefighters rallying outside the Wilson building, calling on council to pay them a fair wage and raises for their union, and also others that are on the chopping block. And DC News Now's Marielle Carbone, she joins us live outside the Wilson building. Marielle, today's rally comes as the battle over a very tight budget continues.
Yeah, Mark, and we know that firefighters aren't alone in this push. There are several big programs that were zeroed out in this budget, but the union says after years of being pushed over and passed by for raises that now is the time to fund a new contract for them. Now, the union can't tell us a specific percentage amount that they're looking to see those salaries raised, but they tell me they've gone 2 years without a new contract. But here is the issue. Under the mayor's proposed budget, she zeroed out the Workforce Development Fund, which funds raises. This was because the CFO held back millions of tax dollars due to some uncertainty over their availability. Now, he has since released some of that money, about $270 million. So the mayor is calling on council to use that money for raises. Of course, the union wants to see that too.
Our members are here 24/7 showing up for people in their time of need. We put our lives on the line every day, and all we're asking in return is some money to help with rent, groceries, our mortgage, you name it.
Now, we talked to Council Chair Phil Mendelson today about this, and he says with that added money from the CFO, he wants to make sure that the reserve fund is in good standings. And then beyond that, he will put some money into the Workforce Development Fund. He can't tell us exactly how much or which contracts could be funded through that. He says it's likely firefighters will see the money that they are looking to see. But you'll hear more from him coming up on DC News Now at 5. For now, reporting live from the Wilson building, I'm Marielle Carbone, DC News Now.
Marielle, thank you. Hey, new at 4, the White House Correspondents' Dinner is back on the calendar. The annual event will now be held July 24th after it was postponed following a shooting inside of the Washington Hilton. Organizers say that security will be significantly enhanced, and President Trump says he plans to attend and speak at the rescheduled dinner. In a post on X, White House Correspondents Association President Weijia Jiang says that in part that the event will serve as a statement that violence will not have the last word. The suspect, 31-year-old Cole Allen, has pleaded not guilty to charges including attempting to assassinate the president and assaulting a federal officer and firearms offenses. His next court appearance is expected at the end of this month. All right, let's check in now with meteorologist Scott Sumner. He's in for meteorologist Damon Matson. Scott, how's the forecast looking?
Well, yeah, it's looking pretty good right now, Mark, but just a quick recap because we're now into meteorological summer. Meteorological spring recap over the months of March, April, and May. The average temperature, well, that was 60 degrees, 6 warmth on record, and precipitation, well, 11th driest here, over 6 inches of total rain for a 3-month period. Yeah, we could certainly use more rain. We'll see what happens this month in the month of June. June 1st, temperature-wise, we should start out in the lower 80s and rise up to near 90 by the end of the month. And that's all due to the fact that we are increasing daylight about a minute a day or so. And you can see today the sunlight is lasting 14 hours and 44 minutes, and that will continue over the next couple of weeks. So yes, we are seeing some warmer days ahead of us. 75 though, not bad right now. Low humidity makes it feel great, and it's again tons of sunshine out there. And as far as temperatures tonight, It'll be dropping down into the upper 50s before rising and getting back up to around 80 as we get in towards your Wednesday. Well, if you think it's just going to stop there, the temperature's at 80 degrees, you're mistaken. I'll talk about that coming up in the full 7-day. Mark?
All right, Scott, thank you. In Virginia, community members remembering an Arlington County police officer who died from cancer. Corporal Barry Faust was one of the first responders on 9/11. Faust was on duty on the morning of September 11th, and he headed straight to the Pentagon after a plane crashed into it. He helped collect evidence and the remains of victims in the days after. Well, last June, Faust was diagnosed with cancer related to those recovery efforts. At the service, his sister Libby recalled several memories of her older brother.
When he became sick, our whole world collapsed. He was our only brother, the brother I tinkered with out in the bus garage and chatted with about what we were going to fix on the farm. The brother I grew up with having fist fights with after he changed the channel on the TV. The brother I admired and enjoyed. The brother I loved. The brother we loved.
Well, Faust served more than 30 years with Arlington County Police. Well, new today, the community continues to mourn in Massachusetts after a deadly bus crash on I-95 in Stafford County on Friday. 5 people, all from Massachusetts, including a family of 4, died in the crash, and dozens more were injured, and some of them still hospitalized. Well, the Don Keeve family was traveling to a wedding when their car was hit and caught fire. DC News Now's Randy Bass is hearing from friends and family. She joined us along I-95 with more. Randy.
Yes, people are mourning the loss of this bright family hundreds of miles away, about 5 days now after they died in the bus crash here along I-95 in Stafford. Today, a growing memorial sits outside the Donchev family home in Greenfield, Massachusetts. Can see flowers and gifts piling up outside of their home there about 2 hours west of Boston. A family friend said Dimitri Donchev was a nurse who worked at a local hospital, and Katerina Donchev was a hairstylist who spent days making desserts for the family wedding they had been traveling to. Their 2 children, Emily and Mark, were also killed in the early morning highway bus crash in Stafford. Jing Dong, the bus driver, is charged with involuntary manslaughter in each of their deaths. Arwen Castle lived next door to the Donchevs. She says reality still has not set in.
Had a lot of close family and friends. They had like a lot of cookouts, gatherings, kids come, jump on the trampoline. They were just a very sweet, close, loving family. It's not gonna seem real. Like, I just keep expecting them to come back.
Now, coming up on DC News Now at 5, we hear from the Greenfield Russian Baptist Church, where the Donchev family had close ties. In Stafford, I'm Randy Bass, DC News Now.
Randy, thank you. A fuel spill on the National Mall is being blamed on vandalism. The Interior Department says that someone cut a fuel line to light a tower used for America 250 preparations on Wednesday. Officials say that the National Park Service has shut down water and irrigation systems and removed the light tower and then flushed nearby drains. Now, to prevent contamination, well, the department says that the spill was smaller than first expected and that taxpayers will not foot the bill for the cleanup effort. Well, crime is down in the district, but how much of that is because of police? And what about the National Guard? Well, a new report tries to answer that, and it comes at a pivotal time of the Guard's deployment. DC News Now's Max Marcilla takes a closer look.
The report from the Niskanen Center, a think tank, tells a story that you might think of as a paradox, which is this. As the number of officers working with MPD has decreased, crime has also decreased. It says car thefts are approaching national levels, well down from their 2023 peak here in D.C. Murders have been cut in half since 2023, and robberies are reaching pre-pandemic numbers. And again, it's not because of more police officers. Co-author Richard Hahn, who wrote the report, says it's more about what the officers are doing, not how many there are or even where they are.
I think the real lesson behind this is not that there was some secret sauce that we need to replicate. I think in general, more proactive policing is a great thing. The main thing that we need to do as a city is just figure out what cops are doing and where they are in a really granular way.
Examples of that proactive policing the report talks about include task forces set up around nightlife corridors and operations centered around neighborhoods with persistent gun violence. But as for the National Guard, well, the report says it has had an impact, a positive impact, especially around property crime. But it also says it worked, quote, on the wrong kind of crime in the wrong places and at enormous cost.
It's not a question of did the Guard succeed or not. I think in a very limited way they did succeed, despite the fact that they were not deployed along, according to where crime happens in the city. But it might not look like a success story compared with a counterfactual that would have cost less and produced more crime reductions.
As we've been analyzing data from the federal government, it shows the number of National Guard members on the streets in D.C. is increasing. In fact, it's over 2,800, the second time it's hit that mark since August. We also know that the vast majority, about 80%, are coming from Guard units out of state, meaning about only 20% of them are from the D.C. National Guard. Reporting in Northwest, I'm Max Marcilla, D.C. News Now.
Max, thank you. And crime continues to trend downward in the district. The latest data shows from MPD shows overall crime down 23% compared to this time last year. Homicides have dropped nearly 50%, while motor vehicle thefts are down 56%. Violent crime overall is down 3%, though assaults with a dangerous weapon have increased 45% so far this year. And for a full detailed report, you can visit our website at dcnewsnow.com. Well, week 2 of the voluntary OTAs are underway for the Washington Commanders in Ashburn, Virginia. And for the team, there haven't really been any distractions off the field like those high-drama storylines. A big difference this year in that category is star wide receiver Terry McLaurin is with the team. Last year, he was going through a contract dispute, but this year, with a new offensive coordinator, David Blau, the Commanders have big plans once again for Scary Terry.
I think the offense is going really well right now. Blau does a great job of just explaining his expectations. I think the multitude of formations and route combinations is going to give all of us flexibility to move around the formation. Just having those type of variations in your route tree is just an unbelievable weapon to have as a receiver. And so now we're just trying to hone in on the details. It's just been really fun and refreshing to just be able to be moved around all parts of the football field in stacks, motions, and so Blau's really creative. It's just about us now trying to execute that and make it start coming to life.
The Commanders wrap up OTAs next week before moving on to mandatory minicamp. And Commanders season ticket holders will see big savings on food this fall. The team has unveiled a new value menu featuring 15 fan favorites under $10, including 10 items priced below $5. And fans can grab discount smash burgers, hot dogs, chicken tenders, and fries with Ben's Chili Bowl also joining the lineup this season. The Commanders say that the program is designed to make game day more affordable while enhancing the experience for their most loyal fans.